welcome to December Daily, and it's day 22. I am once more using Bree's prompts, and today's prompt is listening. And again, this seems to be the perfect prompt for my current life situation, and once more I'm using a photo, even though I actually don't really like using photos in my journal, but it kind of works out so nicely at the moment that I'm just including photos. So I, at this point, only know that I want to use this photo, and first I thought I was just gonna glue it onto the page with the background, but then I thought, oh, that's so boring. So then I came up with the idea of making a little booklet out of it instead. So I just rounded the corners, inked the edges, and now I'm using a beige marbled cardstock to just make a little booklet, which is a little bit bigger than the photo. And so then I'm also going to round these corners. And then of course, I'm inking the edges. And then I thought it was still kind of too plain inside, so I decided to add some Christmas designer paper in there. So I'm just trying to choose which one would work best, and I end up choosing the, not this one, but yeah, this red one. And since it wasn't large enough to fit this way, I decided to just cut out two sides and mount them separately on the two sides of the booklet. And I'm just playing around with it a little bit to get the size the way I want to, and then I'm going to realize that it's pretty much exactly the same size of the photo, which doesn't make any sense because the photo will completely cover it if I glue it down. So I end up cutting the photo down a little more to have the background seen a little bit. So, and then I'll be just decorating the cover with the the prompt word for today, the listening, and also with today's date, the 22nd. And while you can watch me doing that, I just wanted to explain this little story behind this photo, and I hope you're not getting sick of hearing me talk about my final days at my school. But this is what I need to document in my journal because I have such a fish brain, and I know in a year I will have forgotten quite a few of the details. So that's why I want to put it in this December journal, because they are such awesome memories and I really want to just keep them. So I hope it's not too boring for you. So just to keep it very short, this little string quartet was playing on the last day of school before the break, which also was my last day at school, and they were playing Christmas songs right in front of my high school office, where also the entrance to the high school is. And they were playing in the morning as the students were walking in the door, and it was just so perfect. And I don't know if you saw on the photo, they were playing right next to a Christmas tree that the students had decorated. And it was so nice for me, not just because the music was fantastic, they are so good, but also because usually at that time in the morning, right before school starts, I'm like completely stressed because I'm trying to do attendance. So I'm checking all the emails and getting phone calls and trying to enter it all in the system, and that is the most hectic time of the day. So usually I'm really totally stressed out. So since my lovely successor was already there, she, unfortunately for her, she had to deal with all that stress, and I was able to just relax, and I was really able to enjoy the moment and enjoy the quartet. And I was just standing there listening to all of their songs for a few minutes, and it was just the perfect scene for my last day. And then to top it all off, I walked into the, when they were done, I walked back into my office and it had just started snowing, and it was snowing these beautiful big fluffy snowflakes. So what could have been more perfect than that for the last day of school for me, and also for the students for the last day before the winter break. So that is what I'm documenting, and that is what I will be writing about on the page after I mount this little card on it. So I decided to use that same designer paper on the front, and then I added some music paper because, of course, listening and the quartet, it was just a perfect fit, and put some cheesecloth over that, frayed the edges, and then put the stamped listening on top of that, which I stamped on some coffee dyed paper. And here you just see me stamping the number 22 on that same cheesecloth, and I'm again fraying the edges. And then I just decide to directly glue that onto the front page. And now I have to think about how to attach that to the page and what kind of a background I want for it. So I'm doing only a single page. And first I thought I was going to use that, but then when I had it held up next to the card, it was too gray, and I like this one much more because it had a much warmer tone. So here I'm just marking what width I want it to be to cover my page. And since one wasn't long enough, I cut another one the same width, and I'm just gonna ink the edges and glue those down. Which works out really well also because I'm covering those two holes from the previous spread. I am gonna make another hole. And this journal has become so incredibly bulky, it's insane. You can't really see it on the camera here, but it is just bursting, and I still have quite a few pages left. So here I am just trying to find the right place for it, and I'm gonna put a hole through the page, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't interfering too much with the previous spread. And I just had to put a brad through it that I had got from a local craft fair, and it's a oh my god, I forgot the designer name. Tim Holtz. It's a Tim Holtz brad, and I don't know if you just saw, by coincidence it had the number 22. Now, I don't even know if all of those brads in the package had 22 on them, or if they had different numbers. I just picked that one and it was the number 22, so how perfect. And so here I'm just showing you my new fountain pen that I'm using for the first time. It's a German brand called Kaweco, and I'm sure you could find it online as well. I just bought it from a store today and I'm really happy with it. And this concludes today's spread. And by the way, I'm also, as of today, on Instagram. I finally made the leap. So I'll probably have a preview of tomorrow's spread on there. So check it out if you want to see that. Thank you. Bye-bye.